Going over to the Cultural Pod podcast, you have the Shark Tank star and entrepreneur Kevin O'Leary saying we should put a 400% tariff on China because they don't play fair, which they don't. They have a ridiculous advantage, especially in manufacturing. There's no such thing as the EPA kneecapping them over there. They have no unions kneecapping them. They have very friendly environmental laws, very friendly, employment laws. It's the reason why a majority of darn near everything is manufactured in China. Or let's be honest, when we see that term, we always hear China, which, yeah, I don't think that'll ever go away. Now, this is posted actually thanks to Kevin O'Leary on X, hashtag Kevin O'Leary TV, and he says, quote, 100% and 4% tariffs on China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business with China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by or any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal intellectual property. I cannot litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture and sell it back here. True. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, which of course is the weak Europeans would never take on China. I mean, the citizens, and again, there's some good people there, don't get me wrong, but they're so weak and pathetic. They elect leaders who literally make their life hell by having no freedom of speech, no freedom to defend themselves, unregulated immigration, basically, and ban the things that they make, like Germany acquiescing to the European Union, saying, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll stop making gas cars, we'll kill off some iconic Porsches, so like China could win with their EV products. Europe is a weak conquered area, is what I'm trying to say. But nevertheless, getting back to Kevin, he says, quote, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have intellectual property that has been stolen by the Chinese. 400% tariffs starting tomorrow morning, which, spoiler alert, I don't think Trump's going to do that. It would be pretty baller if he did. Although, I mean, it's Trump. So if Kevin O'Leary says 400%, I think Trump would want to be more iconic. Kevin O'Leary said I should be 400%. I thought that was too low. So you know what, China? You're going to have 500%. That's 100 more than Kevin O'Leary until you stop ripping us off left and right. Those terrible automobiles, your knockoff products, your ridiculous Tamagotchi knockoffs. Those still a thing? I don't think so. But yeah, in terms of having your intellectual property stolen, they are the capital. They are the, like, if there's a first place for deplorable ripping off intellectual property, China would be it. Now, let's see actually hear what Kevin obviously goes on the CNN where I can't think they're owned by China, but let's hear, I can't think CNN will probably melt and cry. Let's watch.
But Kevin, he said there's a lot of deals that they're literally kissing his ass was the phrase he used, very eloquently. Where are the deals?
104% tariffs on China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that look like?
I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. It's just not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world.
Gunpowder.
The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. He'll tell you why. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on Earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on Earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Strike while iron is hot. And hopefully we're the best economy forever in terms of consumer spend. We'll see. I'm thinking there's some ways you can do that. Maybe, having the government not steal a majority of our income would be nice. So you could actually, buy a house and build a family and, buy fun toys. But another topic for another time, perhaps. Now, this got pretty viral. I got 1.1 million views and 22,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Mrs. Red, White, and Blue, saying, quote, "The people telling you Trump is wrong about tariffs were 100% wrong about inflation, jabs, Ukraine, law and order, immigration, bailouts, etc. Don't even bother listening to them. They just want their USAID money back." Getting 17 likes, and yeah, I concur. You also have Robin Sword saying, quote, "Bring the manufacturers back to the US. We built it better than anyone anyways." Getting 32 likes, which in many ways, yeah, I think there's a little bit of a confirmation bias in regard to American manufacturing in terms of the quality, in terms of the only way you could really feasibly make anything in the US is to make it to a very high standard so people are willing to pay more of a premium over things that are imported from places like China, as well as Mexico and Canada. Pretty sure that's how they speak up in the north, but who knows? I've never been there. Why would I want to be? But it's one of those things where, yeah, the only things that remain in the US are, high quality goods for the most part. You also have GM vehicles, partially kidding. But again, China makes some good stuff. It's not all crap and all stealing intellectual property. In terms of volume of stuff, probably a lot of counterfeit crap over there. But, don't forget, the iPhone famously is made there. Pretty much every the largest electronics subcontractor out there is Foxconn. They've been diversifying, starting to make stuff in India and other countries. But for the most part, the most advanced, sophisticated devices that aren't not to the point of being DoD or defense contract types of devices, they're all made in China. I'm not a fan of that. When I think of electronics in terms of like audiovisual production, you have some Japan, obviously for the optics, or I think about guns, also true, but in terms of lenses and cameras, in terms of like audiovisual gear, Rode is the only major competitor I could think of in terms of not made in China or Mexico. Sure, one of the best microphone manufacturers in history, headquartered still in Illinois, they make the iconic, SM7B, which every podcaster has, and I have in the corner, I'll probably set up. That's made in Mexico. So, yeah, in terms of we make it better, I do agree, but there's also a little bit of confirmation bias, I think. You also have CMCG saying, quote, "The number of times I've watched you on ABC Shark Tank advocate for small businesses manufacturing their widgets in the U.S. to move to China to save cost. What are you doing to those businesses who listen to them and take your investment?" Getting 34 likes, which, yeah, that's also true. Kevin famously advocates for most people who come on Shark Tank to make in China. The number one reason he says that is cost. And that is because China has an unlevel playing field. They have no EPA not kneecapping them. They have a lot of things going for them that give them the best advantage for manufacturing. And when it comes to the American consumers expecting a certain price point, that is why Kevin famously pushes China when it comes to actually manufacturing a product. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the consumers are willing to pay more for that. Now, you also have Canadian for freedom. I feel so sorry for them. Imagine being born in Canada where you have no freedom of free speech, no freedom to defend yourself, when you got America right there, so close. Now, this Canadian for freedom says, quote, "And Canada should do the same. Our farmers get taxed at 100% by China, and our government doesn't even mention it. WTH. It's because your government is corrupt, evil, and manipulative." That got 45 likes. Let's make it 46. Yeah. Again, the Canadian people, I love. They're hilarious, jovial. Many of them love freedom. Their politicians sold them out years ago. Never forget that piece of crap, Justin Trudeau, totally not the alleged bastard of the Castros. Well, he said, they asked him, who do you admire the most? He said Xi Jinping in China. Of all the countries in the world, the leader of Canada said, oh yeah, I admire China the most. Because of how quickly they can respond during the pandemic, aka stamp on human rights, tromp on who, do whatever they want. And that should tell you everything you need to know about Justin Trudeau and the leaders of Canada. Do one or two more comments here. I don't see too many contrarian comments. A couple. Jake Hash Queen says, quote, "You are so right. China's the largest customer. They cannot afford to lose us. Get Xi on a plane and make that deal today." Getting 56 likes. Mama Too Tired says, quote, "China has never had another country stand up to them. Stop importing everything and start selling to the rest of the world. America made." Getting 24 likes. Brian G, which if Elon Musk was in charge of the trade negotiations, he would do this, but he says, quote, 420% is better, getting 168 likes, which, thanks to the Urban Dictionary, I know is a reference to the drug paraphernalia community. Though, if you really want to go all out in terms of puns, I guess it wouldn't be a dad joke, it'd be a dirty dad joke. It should be 420.69% tariff on China. Again, if Trump were to do that, that would be hilarious. I don't think he would. Elon probably would, but Trump would. Although, Elon makes a lot of Teslas in China, so probably not. Who knows? Satosh E says, quote, "Kevin is trying to play bad cop to Trump here. He's hoping the public takes his message and goes, what, 400%? Wow, I guess Trump was right in China. I can support this, getting 25 likes. Let's see, one more. Alpha Chino says, quote, why just make it 1,000,000%? Only rich people support what is happening here. Getting 100 likes. 1,000,000%? Well, that's not really feasible. That would price things literally into the stratosphere. Although this person got a lot of comments. Well, the first one is by Adam Webb responding to him saying, quote, false, you're an effing moron. Take a seat in the back of the room and be quiet. Getting 11 likes. Now, and then other people are commenting, why are you supporting cheap labor? Only rich support this happening. No, I think a lot of people, especially family and people who own small businesses and infecting, especially manufacturers, I think a lot of them are upset with China. Again, they rip off so many ideas and intellectual property, just completely rip it out and take people's ideas away from them. I think a lot of people are fed up with them. Again, Kevin calls it out. You can't litigate in their courts. They don't even care. They just steal your product, copy it, and sell it. And the audacity, they even sell it in the United States. Sometimes you'll get lucky when the importation process will be able to stop it. But really, it's like whack-a-mole because there's so many startups in China that just change their name. It's really difficult to compete against them. So let me know, do you think 400% is, just pie in the sky? Is Kevin just being bombastic? Or do you think putting something like a 400% would actually get China to wake up and negotiate? Let me know in the comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say today. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.